So I got up at 6 o'clock this morning, which is nice and early for me. So I wanted to catch the low sun hitting the edge of these sea pinks. I came here a week ago and the sea pinks were hardly out at all. But it shows what can happen in a week, because it's been pretty sunny down here in Cornwall, luckily. And so most of them are out now. So I've got a shot, got my tripod down on the ground, and luckily the sunlight's hitting Godrevy Lighthouse from the side, which is always my preference. I've done these shots before many times, but I've never done them in the morning. It's always been at sunset, so I thought I'd try something different today. And whenever I've tried to do these vlogs, I've come here and thought, well, I've got all the shots I need, but you know, I'll come here to do the vlog, and ended up with better shots than I got before. So there's always hope. So I remember when I came here, I got a really good wave crash picture, and then I came the next time to do a vlog and I got an even better one. I'd already got seagulls in the foreground, and I thought, oh, no, I need to do a vlog, I'll come here again, you know, and got an even better shot. So there's always hope, isn't there? The sea pinks are dominating the bottom half of the frame really, which is good because they're covering some of the rock over, the dark black rock, which I'm not very keen on. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good shot. I'm gonna do an automatic focus stack for this shot. 21 shots. I know damn well it's not going to need all of those. I'm glad I got my camera out and started taking shots, because as soon as you get your camera out, well, this is what I find anyway. If I come to a place, I can sometimes be a little bit negative and think, nothing here. But once you get your camera out and you maybe even take a picture, even if it's not very good, it kind of gets you into the flow of taking pictures. So I'm glad I got that first shot in the bag, and although it was pretty good, I think, I found some deeper pink sea pinks now, which I much prefer. And unfortunately they're in the shade, so I'm not sure if I'm going to wait here till the sun comes over the hill there and actually hits these, or whether it actually might work better if these are in the shade and the lighthouse has got the sun on it. So I'm going to do a focus stack now anyway of the sea pinks in the shade and see how that comes out, and then I'll maybe wait around for half an hour to see if I can get the better shot with the sun directly on these foreground sea pinks. While I'm waiting for the sun to come over the hill and hopefully light up these sea pinks, I thought I'm going to have a go at trying everything I know. So I'm going to do one very shallow depth of field. So I'm going to use the largest aperture, which I'm at 50mm at the moment, and it should be f4 I can get to. Yeah, f4. So I'm just going to focus on the sea pinks. Actually, that looks terrible. So I'll take that shot focused on the sea pinks, and then the lighthouse is just going to go soft in the background, but it might work. And then I'm going to do, so I've got focus stack, I've got a very shallow depth of field shot. Let's do a bit of ICM, intentional camera movement. So this means choosing a very slow shutter speed, and at the moment I'm on 200th of a second, so I'm going to have to get a filter out to be able to slow the shutter speed down. So I'm going to get a neutral density filter of 4 stops. Got a step up ring to put on there. So that goes from 72mm, which is that front size, to 77mm, which is the front size for my 100 to 400mm lens. So it just means you've only got to carry a few filters with you. Don't see the point in carrying loads of filters and big filter systems. Never been my thing, but anyway. So now let's just check out what speed I've got. Yeah, 1/10 of a second. So let's try that. So I'm just gonna Move the camera up and down, I think. Terrible. Oh dear. Truly terrible. Maybe ICM is not a good idea. However bad it is, I'll show you that shot anyway. So that's ICM, shallow focus, extreme depth of field with focus stacking. And what else can we do? Video, obviously. All right, let's just do a quick video clip. Because the Lighthouse is bright white, it's going to be completely overexposed. So I'm going to have to take the video exposure down by 0.7 of a stop. If I open the aperture up, you can see how white and overblown the Lighthouse is becoming. So something like that's about right, I think. And then I can lift the shadows in post. What else can we do? Long exposure. Let's try that. I'll do a 10 stop filter to really smooth out the sea. Right, so now I've done focus stacking, shallow depth of field, ICM, intentional camera movement, and I've done long exposure, combining it with the focus stack. There's only one more thing I think one could do in this situation, and that is change the aspect ratios. So this camera shoots in 3:2 ratio. Sorry, I just spat at the camera then. This camera shoots in 3:2 ratio. Yours might be 4:3 if yours is a micro four thirds or a medium format camera. So what I could do now is I could try and shoot this shot in square, which is 1:1 ratio, and also I might try one in 16:9, and then I might see if I can do one that's just going to be extremely wide, kind of like ultra panoramic as well. So I'll give that a go. I think this is something you could perhaps try. A lot of people who come on my workshops, they stay in their native aspect ratio all the time, don't move out of it, and don't think about doing, you know, panoramics or square, whereas really sometimes the shot demands it. So I think it's a good thing to have kind of in your back pocket. To get to the aspect ratios on a Sony camera, you press menu and then you press the camera mode and then image quality record, and down there you'll see on the right aspect ratio. Click on that and there you can see my choices: 3:2, 4:3, 16:9 or 1:1, which is obviously square. It's worth keeping in mind, try these different aspect ratios when you go out, because they can make for a more interesting shot, and it certainly helps you think a bit more about composition, which is always a good thing. I've just moved further back from the lighthouse now and put my longer lens on, and it's surprising what different kind of shots you can get. So I've been experimenting with different apertures, and which obviously gives you different depth of field. So I'll show you those shots. I also moved my camera way back there to try and take a shot, hoping to get as much depth of field as possible so that the lighthouse would be sharp and these foreground grasses and sea pinks would be sharp. But that wasn't really possible, but it was good to try it out. This is one of those times where I think the actual video clip itself is better than the stills photograph. So I'm finding that more and more. So I did a workshop a couple of days ago with a really nice bloke called John, and he's got the same camera as me, A7R5, which has such brilliant video capability, and he's never done any video. So I tried to encourage him to do a time lapse, but of course I'm not sure whether he has. He's been on holiday in Cornwall for a week. Yeah, so as I'm doing more and more video these days, I'm loving it more and more. And I tell you, if you're not doing it, just give it a try. Whether it's a time lapse of clouds, a time lapse of waves, slow motion waves, all sorts of things you can do on your camera, I'd have thought. So yeah, do give it a try. So there was a nice grey sky in Truro, and I thought, I know, I'll come down and do a second part to this video of Godrevy and prove to you what I said in a previous video about grey and pink looking great together. So I was going to do a similar shot with the sea pinks in the foreground and a grey sky. But of course, things turned out otherwise, and the sky broke, and now it's a beautiful blue sunny sky day. So I came down to one of my favourite little places, which is where the reflections are in the sand, down at Gwithian Beach, just down from Godrevy. And I've got my cameras set up. One of the advantages of having two tripods is that you can have one set up doing one video thing and one set up doing another. So I've had the small tripod with this camera I'm filming on now, shooting a hyperlapse, and I'll show you those. And then I've got my other camera with the long lens on, shooting time lapses and slow motion. I love the creative side of videography. It's really appealing to me, and I'm enjoying it more and more. So I hope you enjoy these clips.